Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BETSPERTS. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Andy Molitor. And we had so much fun talking about my great Bengals ticket yesterday. We thought, who better to bring on but the actual founder of PropSwap himself. Welcome, Mr. Luke Pergande. How you doing, Luke?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we did talk a little bit about Alex got himself a Bengals ticket. I'm not so sure. I don't know. Like you say, don't bet against Burrow. And if you are gonna go ahead and get on the Burrow train, even this late, you might as well get a good number on it. So, yeah, if you wanted to, what's going on this week as far as like, are you seeing a lot of volume around? I've just popped onto the app and seen a lot of stuff I didn't know you can even sell. Like people have touchdown score parlays, like same game parlays and stuff. I guess a lot of the stuff I'd looked at over the last few weeks has been, focused on future bets and things like that, but it doesn't seem to be much of a limit to what you could put on here.
Yeah, I think the primary sports PropSwap's obviously a secondary market, so we don't decide what gets bet on. That's a primary sportsbook decision. But I think those guys this week are just offering so many promos and like boosted odds that, an example would be like Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown. He's, I think he's like minus 200. DraftKings boosted him to plus 100. So people are posting that for sale, just get in, get out, get a good number. And, maybe you post it at minus 120 and you get 20% back on your money and post that for sale. So I think, you're right. Like typically we do mostly futures. We do some parlays as well. People will do a, 8-leg college basketball parlay. They'll stagger them between, a Tuesday and Wednesday night. 7 of the 8 legs set on Tuesday, 8th leg is on Wednesday. They'll sell it on that Wednesday. So, that's really just a straight bet, right? Once it gets down to the last leg of a parlay, it's really just a straight bet. It's just a side for a college basketball bet. But yeah, I think, this 2-week gap between the conference championships and the Super Bowl, these sportsbooks are just throwing out so many different unique boosted odds and promos that people are taking advantage of, then getting them posted on PropSwap for the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously got to be probably the most exciting 2-week period for you guys. Have you seen a big increase in volume? I know in Pennsylvania, I've been checking like every other day or so, and there's just kind of like you said, this flood of stuff coming in. I imagine all the promos, like you mentioned in New York and things like that. So, I mean, how's it going in general? What kind of growth have you guys seen? And is this kind of the biggest couple weeks for you?
Yeah, I mean, we always say at PropSwap, deadlines spur action. So, when it gets really down to the wire, when your ticket could win or lose, that's typically when people post it. The wild card round, people are like, Chiefs aren't going to lose or Bills aren't going to lose. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. Now it's do or die time. So yeah, we're selling tons of Rams bets, tons of Bengals bets. I would say I've been shocked at how many Rams bets we've been selling because the max odds they were throughout the season was about 20-1. We haven't seen too many tickets above 20-1 odds on the Los Angeles Rams, but the Bengals were 300-1 odds in September. It's literally the biggest long shot in NFL history. There's never been a team with longer odds that got to the Super Bowl than the Cincinnati Bengals this year. The second longest odds was the 1999 Rams or Kurt Warner. They were 200-1. So this team it's literally the biggest underdog in football history. And that's the beauty of our website. Like, we have this $100, 300-1 Bengals bet up for sale. It's worth 12 grand right now. You bet $100, it's worth 12 G's. And what people would shout from the rooftops before PropSwap and still do currently is, no, you don't sell your bet on PropSwap. You just go hedge on the Rams. Problem is, to clear $12,000 by betting on the Rams, you need 24 grand because they're minus 200. So this guy's a $100 gambler. He doesn't have $24,000 sitting in a checking account to go bet on the Rams. And, maybe he can find a bookie to give him 24 grand of credit, but I doubt it, so that's just kind of a misconception I still see is no, you don't sell your bet. You're just something like that. I agree that in some situations those risks are identical, but in this situation, if you have 24 grand, you're not going to be able to profit 12K.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm looking to because at this point, like all my NFL futures are dead. Maybe I'll end up buying something, but I did start looking at college basketball. I know that'll probably pick up here as we get towards conference tournaments and March Madness, and there's a mess of college basketball just to win the championship tickets out there. I haven't looked at them all yet, but I'm half tempted to start getting into some golf. Like people talk about the Bengals and the long odds, and a big thing in the golf betting community is like going and grabbing futures on the the majors because I can't sit here and bet on the 3M or the Rocket Mortgage 6 months out. But you can go bet on the Master, the PGA. Almost all the books will have the four majors up all the time. So if you think a guy's trending well, you get him at 100 now, and you get to tournament time, he plays a few more tournaments well, he's 40, 50 to 1. Like that might be Andy's strategy for golf betting is just pop down to Iowa and get a bunch of tickets on some guys I don't think will have the longest odds once we get around to Augusta and I mean even St. Andrews later in the years. But it did get me thinking about that too. It's like what do you see from users like as far as who's doing it well and what are they doing to make the most money on this? I mean, are there people that you just see constantly taking advantage of getting good numbers and swapping them that way, or is it like a buyer who's ending up with these good tickets more often?
Yeah. So when we started this business 7 years ago, I never in a million years thought golf would be this popular. It's a championship every weekend, right? Literally every single Sunday, a new golfer is crowned, and obviously with NFL football, you only have one champion crowned per year, so the volume has just been through the roof. I never thought it'd be this common for people to be posting golf bets, and then to your point, yeah, I mean people, Luke List will have a good weekend, and then people will buy a bunch of Masters, Luke's tickets, or Barry Woodland a few years ago will have I think he won the U.S. Open, and then people will go buy, the next major on him, and yeah, it's as opposed to golf, and this kind of goes back to the Rams Bengals scenario, like. Yes, if you have, a Luke List ticket and he's 100 to 1 and now he's in the hunt on Saturday and Sunday, you could start to go make a bunch of different bets on all the other golfers in the mix. Like, yes, that's true, but you could also just sell the Luke List bet, lock in some cash, and care less how the rest of Sunday goes.
Yeah, that is again. I've bet a bunch of golf over the last few years. That's awful ticklish because I tried to do that one time. I had two or three outrights, and they were all in the top five. So I looked at all the guys I thought that could compete on Sunday, and I took some small futures on them, did the math, and then Spieth comes out of nowhere and shoots like a 62, and he wasn't a guy and I'm like, I'm gonna lose like
Yep.
9 bets if he keeps doing this. Like this is absurd. It ended up working out, but like I didn't need that heartache on a Sunday like that. So yeah, I get that question a lot from people. Hedging golf is damn near impossible for the most part, unless somebody wants to offer a two-way market on a big favorite. You just don't see those that often. So, and I guess, before we let you go to it, anything else on the horizon this year we can look forward to in 2022 or?
Oh God, I mean, you nailed it earlier. Is always our biggest month of the year. March Madness is just off the charts. I think about the Florida Gulf Coast. I was watching the USC coach on Saturday night, and he's obviously the former Florida Gulf Coast coach. Texas Tech a couple years ago when they were 200 to 1 odds. They of course go into single overtime versus Virginia and lose. If you had that Texas Tech ticket, you could have sold that. We had the infamous $300,000 Texas Tech ticket Des Bryant was bidding on during that run. Loyola Chicago, of course, the last few years. I mean, every single year there's a crazy, like really close doesn't win, and we're really the only way to profit on those long shots. But yeah, if people still haven't made their Super Bowl bet, we sold the Rams ticket yesterday at I believe it was -160, which is the best price in the world on the Rams right now. Sorry, it was -170, and the Rams are -180, -200 in some books right now. So, that's the best price in the Los Angeles Rams in the world. And of course, the reason is you're buying from someone who might have been in the Rams 2 weeks ago. They might have been in the Rams in September. And you get to swoop in and get the best price in the world on a Super Bowl matchup on Sunday night.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely like we mentioned as well, if you don't have an account yet, use the promo code BETSPERTS like Alex did. Alex said, what was your ticket? It's plus 160 on the Bengals.
Yeah.
But you paid half price, so it's plus 320. Essentially, it's not something you can't do it every time, but you can definitely take advantage of that first deposit. Get pretty much, not pretty much. You can double your odds if you take advantage of that promo, the discount promotion, or the deposit match promotion there, up to $500 on your first deposit. So, Luke, we thank you for your time, and I'm certain we'll talk again before March Madness, and go enjoy the Super Bowl.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
See you, Luke. Thanks.
Yeah, I was going to buy that 76ers ticket, and then I forgot, and it's gone. Like there was a 76ers to win the Atlantic. I remember when I texted you asking you for your fair price on that. I did that to several NBA handicappers actually, and they and it's gone now. But it was up for plus 110 when you said minus 150. So I'll continue to scour the NBA markets and see what you can find me. But let's move on to the NBA and do some picks for today before we cut loose.
Yeah, I like that. And I like what you said too about the golf. I mean, golf is impossible to hedge, and that's a perfect vehicle for something like that. And then March Madness time, you have some people with some nice tickets, and kind of as everybody learned with that Texas Tech run the other year, even if they get all the way to the finals, it's hard to lock some stuff like that in. But
oh my God, I got DMs on DMs about people with that Texas Tech ticket or Loyola tickets or just like any of those. Like it said, it's so hard because you have like 3 games left and you're going to be an underdog in all of them. Like you need to just start betting the other team or finding ways to try to find middles or look at live bets. It's impossible to hedge some of these things. So tonight in the association, though, you got a couple looks, huh?
Pretty decent size slate. Just a couple games stuck out to me. We'll start here with the Boston Celtics. Just double checking this line right now. Oh gosh, that's actually floated out. It's all the way out to 8.5, unfortunately, but was able to grab some Celtics -6. Again, if you follow me on BETSPERTS at Alex Christenson with no space, you saw the 6 earlier. Maybe it'll tick back down. If it gets down to the 7.5 range, take it there. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets continue to struggle. They're at home, so no Kyrie Irving here. James Harden, even if he does play, has just been in really rough shape and has been dealing with a hamstring injury that's he's had off and on his entire career. It's just a really tough spot here for the Nets. The Celtics continue to be healthy, continue to kind of blow the teams out. Again, without Kevin Durant, without Kyrie Irving, with even whatever little James Harden they get, just an awful spot for the Nets here. So happy to lay 6. Again, looks like it's up above 8. If it gets a 7.5 for whatever reason, grab some of that. And then the Lakers team total under, I think this is one actually you can do a little bit better than me. Taking a look right now, it looks like the Lakers have taken some support. Their team total is actually up to 114.5. But I look at this game, Bucks team with their big 3, just about everybody else playing tonight. The Lakers have struggled, even with LeBron James in. I really don't see how they score a lot of points here. I have them at 111. If I tweak some things, I can get it as low as kind of 110, 109. It's just even with LeBron in, the efficiency goes up, but the pace comes down. They run with a little more measured approach with him on the floor. Anthony Davis has struggled here. And again, this Milwaukee team's been pretty solid defensively in these spots. So no reason to worry about the travel spot here. They've been in Los Angeles for a couple of days. I think this is a great spot for the Bucks. Thought about maybe laying the points, but it's just like this team total under a little bit better. So Celtics -7.5 or better. Lakers team total under 113 or higher.
I'm down. And I want to apologize for my card yesterday. I really just didn't like anything else. There was a couple totals, and you know what? I wasn't convinced on any of them, and I jotted them down, and they went 1-1. So I only added I didn't add any picks like I said I might, but I saved you 10 cents on 10 cents on the dollar by not adding those.
0.1 units saved.
Yeah, 0.1 units saved by not washing. So yeah, we just take the UNCW. I bet the earliest game of the week or the earliest game of the day somehow. So it's nice to just get that over with, be 1-0, head into the sunset, and talk some Olympics, which that was fun. We did spaces last night, and a couple people gave out some winners even. Not us, but like our French friend, the food snob frog. He gave out some winners in a couple sports there. A lot of fun, but a bigger card for me today. I did end up with my usual list of underdogs. No totals today. I've kind of weaned down a little on that. I think a lot of those are starting to get tight as we get into the third, fourth month of the season here. They get tougher. People know what these teams are about, especially their pace. But Fordham Rams taking on a big favorite in the what do we got? St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure's been a little disappointing to me this year. They're still a very good team. It's a very good offense, but I don't think much of their defense. They can't shoot threes. I think Fordham keeps this close. Bowling Green, I bet 2 MAC games. I think this is the one that was a bit of a rematch. They played a few, maybe even like a week ago. Bowling Green did play Kent State. They're a dog here again. They lost at home. Now they play away, yet the number's not that much bigger. So this is a spot. I think they didn't play all that well in that first one. I like Kent State on offense. Their defense does kind of stink. Or excuse me, I like Bowling Green on offense. Their defense does stink, but they're the kind of underdog I like because they do a few things that can keep it close. And of course, Kent State a little sketchy on offense sometimes. The other MAC game is a really good one, actually. Like, this is a game I was joking about. I don't watch my games. This is worth watching. This is Toledo versus Ohio, and essentially, like, this is for the MAC. Ohio is 19-3. Toledo is something like 18-5. I mean, these are the 2 top teams essentially. Akron's there, but like, this is kind of setting the pace for the 1 seed, maybe an at-large bid for somebody if they don't win the conference even. Really good game, but I do like the underdog here at +3 for Ohio. This is a rematch. Toledo did win the first one, but I like this one quite a bit. It's moving a little, but you can still get 3.5s in the market. And then Fullerton, as Patrick mentioned, about 10 minutes after I bet this morning, which is better than 10 minutes before, because then I may not have bet it. Rass played Fullerton +1 as well. So this is out to -2. See if you can find a lagging book and I got money line at -103. If you can get anything -110 or even a -1 at a normal VIG, I would play it, but don't go spending money. Don't buy points in college basketball. Certainly don't buy it down. If you can't find a good price, it might just be worth skipping. I like them to beat Long Beach, even though Long Beach is a team I've been on a couple times this year. Not a great spot for them. Long Beach hasn't lost in a very long time. I think that's a good indication to go against them as the market warms up and warms up and warms up. But yes, it's been since the Hawaii game on January 8th that the Long Beach Dirtbags have lost. So just those 4 for me today, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. And overnight tennis to close things out.
Yes, just a few looks. Again, nice and bright and early. It's all kind of happening. There's still some matches on right now. Nothing crazy going on at the moment, but 2 underdogs I like. Again, these should start early in the morning East Coast time, like 3, 4 in the morning. They've been kind of running later. It's kind of a fun tournament. Instead of having a whole bunch of courts, they're taking their time, kind of going match by match here. Takes a little bit longer, but I end up kind of having tennis all morning, which is good. We'll start with Ka Uven here. She comes into this tournament qualifying, goes against Alison Van Uytvanck, who frankly is very good indoors. She's a tall player, has a great serve, and when she's indoors, generally does pretty well, but hasn't been playing much tennis lately. A little bit of doubles for her, I believe, but I have this match a lot closer here. I always love back at some of these qualifiers. Yvonne is a young player who, continues to get better and starts to push through, lower and lower in the rankings here. I guess higher, lower, lower. Anyway, getting closer to number 1.
Higher in the rankings for a lower number. It's
Yes.
kind of like the DEFCON 5 thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. You climb up, down the number. Anyway, let's not get too confused here. I have this closer to like +120, so +140 or better on Yvonne looks pretty good. And Christian, who we mentioned a little bit earlier here, got lucky. Pavlyuchenko, well, not got lucky. I think she could have beaten Pavlyuchenko. Honestly, it'd been nice to catch that. But Pavs got out of the way, took care of the lucky loser Bernarda Pera in the second round here. This is a bet I like even better than the last one. I have this closer to like +110. I could make some cases that this is relatively even here, but I'm sorry, Christian here. Just a really nice spot for her. Again, indoors, she's been good, been better as of late. Goes against Alexandra Sasnovich. Sasnovich, a pretty solid player here. I think this will be kind of a fun test for Christian, but I think it's a test she's going to pass. So plus 140, plus 130 or better looks pretty good there. 2 dogs for us on the courts.
Who was your other outright? I know Rybakina has Krachevka tonight, overnight.
Maybe maybe the UVOT match does start in 15 minutes. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't know
well,
why.
it does. I think it starts soon. What was your third outright? Christian, Rybakina, and I can't think of it either. Gotcha. So we'll be cheering for Rybakina then as well, but that should be up. I don't want to jinx it like that's so far. Yeah, we'll get there. So, all right, cool. Well, like we mentioned, if you do want to buy yourself some PropSwap tickets, promo code BETSPERTS gets you that. I mean, double your money when you deposit. You can buy twice as many tickets or the same ticket for half the price. Kind of works out nice to make a little extra money on the Super Bowl. And we'll probably talk some more Super Bowl the rest of the week. We're going to do some golf tomorrow, and then the rest of the week will probably be effing around with props. So bring the heat in the chat. Let me know what you guys have for props. I already placed one based on what Patrick said. I always forget about the second half over first half. Like, even if you don't love it, it's always going to get steamed that way. Like, you can always buy back and arbitrage a little. It's going to steam out to, it seems like it goes up to minus 140 every year. But with that said, we'll catch you back here on Wednesday, hump day. See you guys.